पर बिल्कुल उन्हीं की तरह हूँ।
आज की सीख और कल की प्लानिंग ही हमारे कल को आकार देती है। HDFC लाइफ, सर उठा के जियो।
Exploring the opportunities and tackling the challenges, shaping India's climate tech journey. Visionary leaders, policymakers, and innovators came together to share insights and solutions. Watch the highlights of Environmental Defence Fund and CNBC-TV18 present Climate Tech Convening India 2025 in association with Climate Collective. At these times, only on CNBC-TV18.
तेरा बच्चा मेरा नाम जरूर रोशन करेगा।
बच्चों से नाम रोशन करवाने का परफेक्ट प्लान, कैनरा HSBC लाइफ इंश्योरेंस चाइल्ड प्लान।
कैनरा HSBC लाइफ इंश्योरेंस, प्रॉमिसेस का पार्टनर।
This is TV18 and you're watching CNBC-TV18.
Hello and welcome to Startup Street. I'm Arundhati Ramnan and with me is Ritu Singh. These are the top headlines from the startup world. Ankit Nagori-led Cure Foods gears up for a Diwali listing, shortlist JM Financial, IIFL and Nuvama as bankers for its upcoming IPO, say sources. The Cloud Kitchen major looks to raise 1,400 to 1,500 crore rupees via primary capital and offer for sale. Payments firm PhonePe exits the account aggregator business to surrender NBFC AA license to the RBI. PhonePe says it will partner with other account aggregators to help enhance financial inclusion. Zomato rebrands as Eternal as the company aims to go beyond its food delivery roots. It now encompasses multiple businesses, including Blinkit, District and Hyperpure. Zomato's board of directors approves the change on February 6th, subject to shareholder and regulatory approvals. SEBI cracks the whip on finfluencer Asmita Patel after receiving over 40 complaints, impounds 54 crore rupees for running an unregistered investment advisory, unfair trade practices, mis-selling services, among others. Asmita Patel has more than 500,000 followers on YouTube. Amazon shares dipped 3.3% in pre-market trade after the online retailer's cloud growth fell short of expectations. Amazon Web reports a 19% rise in revenues to nearly $29 billion, just shy of analysts' expectations. Amazon joins Microsoft Azure, Google Cloud to report weaker than expected cloud figures.
Well, payments company Cashfree Payments has raised $53 million, or about 450 crore rupees, in a funding round that was led by Korean digital entertainment giant Krafton to drive product innovation, market expansion, as well as global growth. Now, Cashfree currently processes about $80 billion annually and works with more than 800,000 businesses, from internet startups to public enterprises. On that note, let me welcome Akash Sinha, the CEO and co-founder of Cashfree Payments, to talk to us about the significance of this funding and what it means for the company. Akash, thanks very much for joining us here on Startup Street. Begin by telling us about where Cashfree is now valued at as per this latest funding round. We understand it's about $700 million, and it also establishes a strategic partnership between you and Krafton. What will that synergy sort of entail?
See, valuation, I think whatever is being reported is closer to where we are. So we haven't shared the actual number, but that's where I think we are in terms of valuation. Right, on the partnership, Krafton has a pretty large investment arm, right? So they do both financial and strategic investment. Obviously, they have been investing in India for the last couple of years across sectors like media, entertainment, digital goods and all. And payments means something which we're excited for them. And from our side, I mean, Krafton is a pretty large, group which do a lot of B2C business in digital content consumption space. And that is one segment we see India is also getting bigger and bigger, right? I think as a payments company, we have been doing, like supporting business like e-commerce, travel, financial services. But digital content, digital consumption is on rise in India. I think you can, like look at the data for the last 3 years, right? There has been good growth in segment like OTT, media, entertainment. Right? And this segment is going to become bigger and bigger. And that way for us, it made sense to be closer to them, right? At least understand the market landscape from them and be ready for that market boom, which is going to happen in India in the next few years.
So Akash, how exactly are you going to deploy this capital for growth? What kind of market expansion are you looking at, and what kind of geographical expansion are you eyeing?
We have been investing in a business in 4 larger pillars, right? One is payment infrastructure, second is merchant experience, third is customer experience, and fourth is on international expansion, right? So on payment infrastructure, we already went live with product like UPI Switch, BEPG, and we plan to do more and more such infrastructure-led development by being closer to the issuers and networks. On merchant experience, idea has been to how do we make it much easier for merchant to access cash free. So that's where product like instant settlement and secure ID, even cross-border, right? A lot of these products are launched to improve merchant experience. We're using Cashfree platform. For customer experience, we product one-click checkout has become a phenomenal hit in the market that is targeting D2C merchants and their customers who are using D2C merchants. At the same time, we believe there are a lot more we can do to evolve customer experience, the ones who are using Cashfree platform. And that's where we are going to invest a lot more energy in the next 2 years. The fourth is international expansion, which is also pretty big, right? I think we have acquired a stake in a company in UAE like 3 years back. And this year the plan has been to scale it up, right? And be one of the market leader in that market. And that is where I think significant focus will also be spent as part of the financing round in expanding the international market, starting from UAE, going to KSA, and 4 other markets which are part of Middle East region.
Cashfree had a period of slower growth while RBI had put new merchant onboarding on hold for you. And then, of course, you got your authorization for the payment aggregator license. How has business growth been since then? And at what pace are you able to add merchants now?
After getting the license, we took some time to be much more ready, right? And we have seen more than 130% growth when it comes to merchant count. Today, as a platform, we process close to $80 billion in terms of GTV. And we have close to 8 lakh merchants on the platform. So the platform is very sizable. We are handling very large scale. And just to give you more recent number, right? We get more than 45,000 leads every month, right? Which is very high number of leads that any payments company get globally, right? It means I think platform is very much attractive. I think a lot of businesses of all sizes, be it smaller, mid-size or larger ones, right? I'm very happy with what we have built at Cashfree and the kind of products we are offering. And all of them are seeing Cashfree platform as a good enabler, for a growth in their business, right? So in the last 6 months, we have been able to onboard a lot of marquee, internet-first businesses which are there in the market, like Swiggy, BigBasket, Bajaj Finserv, Zepto, right? And that also shows the, testament of these merchants that Cashfree platform is helping them in their growth, helping them give best experience to their users. At the same time, making it operationally easier for them to manage payments on the platform.
So you're currently processing about $80 billion annually, you say, and working with 800,000 businesses. At what pace, tell us, is business growing here? How is both the domestic and cross-border payments as well as the PPI business individually growing for you?
Cross-border business, we got the license 6 months back. I think last of last year, like around December, Jan, we went live with 5 to 6 beta customers. I think this year will be big for cross-border because cross-border as a space which hasn't been explored a lot in the last few years, right? The license is new. A lot of things have been standardized, right? The regulation is also much clearer. And there's a strong interest, with both sides of the business community, right? As part of the new budget, right? India is supposed to be a big export, like powerhouse. And that is where we see a lot of scope for us enabling businesses which are very export oriented. At the same time, making, like doing business with Indian consumers much more easier for international businesses who are not based out of India. So these are 2 flows which are very big in itself.
Akash, you'd earlier told us that Cashfree aims to cross 1,000 crores in revenue for this financial year, and a quarter of that will come from non-payment products. Are you on track for that, and what should we expect in terms of profitability?
We are very much close to that revenue. I think we may surpass that as well. In terms of profitability, as I said, we are very much on track. I think we have been doing our investment this year, but it's a matter of few months, I think, where we'll be back to profitability again. Just for the record, company has been profitable for 4 consecutive years. Starting from 2018, 2022. So we know how to make business sustainable. And it's just a matter of a few more months where we'll be back to profitability after seeing growth in these products, that we just discussed about.
All right, Akash, thanks very much for your time here on CNBC-TV18. We wish you all the very best. Thank you.
Moving on the hot seat today, Namdev Finvest, a Jaipur-based non-banking financial company, has raised $38 million in debt funding. The funds were raised from leading development finance institutions like Developing World Markets, Blue Orchard Managed Funds and Mirova. This infusion of funds will allow Namdev Finvest to expand beyond conventional lending models. Joining me now to discuss this further is Jitendra Tanwar, the MD and CEO of Namdev Finvest. Jitendra, thank you so much for taking time out and being here with us on Startup Street. Let's start with this funding round of $28 million that you've raised in debt, right? Can you tell us why the need for this debt funding and what do you propose to do with the capital?
So debt funding, so we have raised in MSME secured lending, and also we do in for the electric vehicles and then the solar as well. So we are catering in tier 3, tier 4 cities with 120 branches with 9 states. So the fund will be utilized will be in the unserved and underserved areas in 120 branches.
Right. And through this funding, you're looking to go beyond the traditional domestic bank, NBFC lending models to serve the underserved and unbanked borrowers, right? If you could sort of elaborate on how you plan to do this and what's the plan on this front?
So as of now, so we are present in 9 states in North and Western India with 120 branches. And also we have entered in new states like Bihar and then UP as well. UP in Western UP, right? So we are catering in the smaller shopkeepers and then also FMCG stores and as well as for farmers and then tractor loans as well as the electric vehicles and the solar loans.
Right. 90% of your portfolio comprises of secured loans to MSMEs, while the rest of it is lending towards green and renewable segments, right? What will be the mix going forward, considering you've entered new markets and all of that?
So our company USP is 90% is the secured, so 100% are secured lending. So 90% in the MSME, it's micro, small, medium enterprises loans, and 10% in green energy renewable loans, and EV and solars.
Right. So EV and solars, are you looking to enter any new markets in the year to come?
Already we have started in Bihar and Uttarakhand and UP.
Any new sectors?
No, for the MSME and then the green energy only.
All right. And your assets under management exceeded 1,100 crore rupees. 90% of your portfolio comprises of these secured loans, while the rest is lending towards green and renewable segments. What will be the mix going forward? Take us through, how you plan to grow this even further.
So in future, our 90% portfolio in the secured lending in the coming 4 to 5 years, and also in 10% portfolio already we will maintain in the green energy loans.
Right. And how have the books performed in terms of gross NPAs, collections, etc.? What sort of margins are you working with versus, traditional NBFC competitors?
So as of now, as of December, our gross NPA is 1.7 and net NPA is 0.6. And also our collection efficiency is 92%, 0 plus par is 9%. So we are maintain our collection efficiency. So our customers paid on time on up to 90%, 90 to 90%.
Right. And, if you could sort of tell us what your growth targets are for this year. We've just started the year out. Are you looking to raise more funds? What are the big targets that you've set for yourself for this year?
So in this year, our total aim will be reach approximately 1,500 to 1,600 crores in this March 2025. And next year will be cross up to maybe 2,000 to 2,500 crores. Our aim will be reaching in 2000 up to 2026.
All right, Jitendra, thank you so much for joining us on the show today. But, we're completely out of time. Thank you so much for being here with us on Startup Street.
Thank you. Welcome.
On that note, it is time for us to head into a short break. But coming up, IPO-bound platform Zetwerk is in talks with family offices for an investment of over $20 million. More details when we come back. Stay tuned.
Mama must be missing us, nah?
Let's take you for a spin, give me one day. Feel the itch under my skin, it's a one day. You believe it when you see we ain't done, hey. It doesn't matter, just gotta get going.
New GT line, Taigun and Virtus. Volkswagen.
सर मुझे क्रिप्टो करके लाइफ बनानी है पर कॉन्फिडेंस नहीं है
कॉन्फिडेंस चाहिए
हाँ
कॉन्फिडेंस चाहिए कम ऑन यू हैव टू लैंड इट कॉन्फिडेंस चाहिए कैप्टन इन्होंने सीखा है इसलिए ये कॉन्फिडेंट है अगर आपको क्रिप्टो में कॉन्फिडेंस चाहिए तो क्रिप्टो सीखना होगा CoinDCX क्रिप्टो कोच लर्न करो क्रिप्टो करो
सर आप स्माइल कर रहे हैं
मैंने भी सीखा है
Crypto products and NFTs are unregulated and can be highly risky. There may be no regulatory recourse for any loss from such transactions.
हेलमेट का भी स्टैंडर्ड तय हुआ है और वही हेलमेट आप खरीदी करिए ये लोगों से आह्वान करते हैं
हमारे भारत से 2.5 घंटा दूर एक देश है यूएई। यहीं के लोग वहाँ जाते हैं, सारे लॉज फॉलो करते हैं क्योंकि वहाँ पे लॉ एंड ऑर्डर का डर है।
जल्दी मत मचाओ, आराम से। सड़क दुर्घटना में जान मत गवाओ।
Watch the highlights of Sadak Suraksha Abhiyan 2025 Part 2 at this time.
All it takes is one. To spark a lifetime of moments that shine. Natural solitaire diamonds from Malabar. Your greatest love story awaits. Go ahead, find your one. Solitaire One. Find your one.
Has India truly embraced the generative AI revolution? And which industries are leading from the front to unlock Gen AI gains? Tune into CNBC-TV18 and EY present AI Forward, Shaping India's AI Story, only on CNBC-TV18.
Helps beat sensitivity fast. Sensodyne Rapid Relief.
महाकुंभ मेले का तीसरा अमृत स्नान पर्व बसंत पंचमी के दिन पूरी आस्था और श्रद्धा के साथ मनाया गया। हर हर महादेव का जय घोष करते हुए साधु संत स्नान के लिए जब संगम पहुंचे तो नजारा अद्भुत था।
श्रद्धालुओं ने प्रयागराज में मां गंगा, यमुना और सरस्वती की पावन त्रिवेणी के संगम में डुबकी लगा करके पुण्य के भागीदार बने हैं।
नागा सन्यासी जिस रास्ते से गुजरे, उनके चरण रज लेने के लिए भक्तों में होड़ दिखी। 30 से ज्यादा देशों से लोग अमृत स्नान के लिए संगम पहुंचे।
अपार भीड़ होने के बावजूद भी इनकी जो व्यवस्था है बहुत सराहनीय है, बहुत अच्छी व्यवस्था है। पब्लिक को किसी तरह की कोई परेशानी नहीं हो रही है।
सनातन गर्व महाकुंभ पर्व।
एक्सरसाइज करा करा के मेरी जान निकाल देगा तो तेरा और हमारे बिजनेस का ध्यान कौन रखेगा?
अपने साथ अपनों की लाइफ फिट रखने का परफेक्ट प्लान। कैनरा HSBC लाइफ इंश्योरेंस टर्म प्लान।
कैनरा HSBC लाइफ इंश्योरेंस, प्रॉमिसेस का पार्टनर।
देखो
तुझको जो मैं
हो जाऊं
पागल
मेरे सीने की धड़कन को सुन, मेरी सांसों को तेरी ही धुन। दिल बोले बूम बूम।
Unlimited Love. Bookings open on 14th February.
Welcome back. You're still with us on Startup Street. IPO-bound B2B platform Zetwerk is in talks with family offices for an investment of over $20 million. Aishwarya Anand is here with more details. Aishwarya?
IPO-bound B2B platform Zetwerk is in talks with family offices for an investment between $20 to $30 million. Sources have exclusively told CNBC-TV18. Most of the conversations have closed and some are in advanced stages. The firm is also in advanced talks with more family offices, HNIs and ultra HNIs for investment before its IPO, sources added. Zetwerk in December raised $90 million from Khosla Ventures, Indigo co-founder Rakesh Gangwal and others. The fresh capital infusion is aimed at strengthening the company's cap table as it prepares for public market listing. According to Bloomberg, Zetwerk has picked banks including Axis Capital, Goldman Sachs, Jefferies, JM Financial, JP Morgan Chase and Kotak Mahindra Bank for an IPO that could raise at least $500 million at a valuation of around $5 billion.
Right, Aishwarya, many thanks for those details. Now, the Union Budget 2025 put a great impetus on propelling digital learning in India, focusing on AI-powered education, broadband for rural schools, multilingual textbooks, and enhanced digital skills training. So how is Edtech ecosystem gearing up to meet these demands? And what must India do to realize its digital learning ambitions? My colleague Aishwarya Anand does a deep dive. Take a look.
From a Center of Excellence in AI for Education, 5 new Centers of Excellence for Skilling, introduction of digital language books, and 50,000 new Atal Tinkering Labs, Union Budget 2025 came with ambitious announcement for the education sector. But the question that remains, is India ready for the digital overhaul, and how are the Edtech players gearing up for that challenge? I'm here at ASU plus GSV and Emeritus Summit to find that out. In this Union Budget 2025, the government has announced setting up a new Center of Excellence in AI for Education with an outlay of 500 crore rupees. How do you think it translates into some of the startups that could probably crop up in the sector, and what could it mean for GSV in terms of potential investments into this space?
I think, this feels similar to what we're seeing in major investments in something like Project Stargate in the US. I think it really demonstrates that India is poised to become a big AI powerhouse, especially if you look at the amount of startup activity in the ecosystem. If you look at just the developer talent that exists in this region, if you build that infrastructure, the startups will come. So I think that's overall very exciting as investors in major edtech startups. Hopefully with that infrastructure, it means lower costs of models. It will mean that there's more options. So you might use a reasoning model, you might be able to use a base model. There might be India-specific models. I think that specificity will create better models for Indian-specific startups and therefore even feed into an ever-growing startup ecosystem.
The government has said that they're opening 5 new Center of Excellence for Skilling and especially considering the new platform that you've launched, that is Border Plus. How do you think this will propel the growth further for you?
This budget at least has put the right impetus and initiative on skilling, not just from the AI Center of Excellence, but also from the Global Partnership for Skilling, which therefore opens up the market for Indian talent, not just to be trained for India, but Indian talent to be trained for international opportunities. Because if we could potentially become the talent capital for the world. If we could potentially become the biggest supplier of talent pool for global economy, and that's going to be a game changer for India. Because look, if you look at it, India has about $125 billion of remittance coming into India. And I think if we can leverage the skilling movement and help the Indian youth get trained, we'll see significant upside, not just for the economy, but for the workforce to find right opportunities in India and globally.
Two of the big announcements that I see fitting well with how Lead School what could impact Lead School going forward is firstly the expansion of Atal Tinkering Lab, and secondly, a push towards digital books under the Bharatiya Pustak scheme. Do you think that's enough to bridge the digital literacy gap in India?
Historically, we have looked at investments in education by a very piecemeal approach. We'll improve books, we'll improve tinkering labs. I think what Indian education, especially at the school level, requires is a system approach. And for that, we need to have an enabling public-private partnership policy. Because unless we improve the operations in a school, all these inputs are not going to make a difference. Because I have been to schools where tinkering labs are in still lock and key. I've been to schools where you might provide the great books, but teachers are not in the school. So my sense is that we need to really make a concerted effort towards better school operations with better systems implementation. Then we can see a big improvement in Indian school outcomes.
Another big milestone that we will see in the sector is PhysicsWallah's IPO, which is slated for the first week of July 2025, with an aim to raise $500 million at a valuation of $5 billion. If successful, PhysicsWallah will become the first Indian pure-play edtech company to list on the National Stock Exchange. Not only that, upskilling platform Simply Learn is also expected to go for an IPO in FY26.
I think a lot of investors may have the perception that, in order for you to succeed, you have to be in Silicon Valley, or you have to serve the US market, or you have to be global, which I think is, we definitely want, inherently global businesses and brands. Something like Simply Learn has built a fantastic global brand, and PhysicsWallah as well. But I think PhysicsWallah represents a company that is India grown, India native, and serving the India ecosystem, and still able to build a fantastic business that people are eager to be part of.
While India's IPO market is definitely primed for greater growth and excitement, experts also believe India's education economy is ripe for AI-led transformations. In New Delhi, Aishwarya Anand for CNBC-TV18.
It is Friday and it's time to take stock of all the startup deals of the week. According to Venture Intelligence, this week saw 15 deals worth $110 million. First up, fintech company Cashfree raises $53 million from Krafton and Apis Partners. AI deployment platform True Foundry raises $19 million from Intel Capital, ENIAC Ventures, Peak 15 Partners, Jump Capital, and others. Next up, AI solution provider for enterprises Cognita.ai secures $15 million in Series A round from Nexus Venture Partners, while Hair Originals raises $5 million from Anicut Capital and 12 Flags Group. Women wellness brand Newa raises $4 million from Mirabilis Investment Trust and others. So far this year, 97 startups have raised $808 million. And with that, it is a wrap on this edition of Startup Street. More news and updates coming up on the other side. Stay tuned.
How can India unlock AI's full potential and lead globally? And what strategies can help integrate AI across sectors to benefit society? Tune in to CNBC-TV18 and EY present AI Forward, Shaping India's AI Story, only on CNBC-TV18.
कि बड़ा होके मम्मी का, पापा का, दादू का, सबका ध्यान रखेगा।
रिटायरमेंट के बाद किसी पे बोझ ना बनने का परफेक्ट प्लान। कैनरा HSBC लाइफ इंश्योरेंस रिटायरमेंट प्लान।
Canara HSBC Life Insurance. Promises ka partner.
Since Chief Minister Bhagwant Singh Mann took charge of Punjab, the dreams of every youth are getting a new boost.
50,000 नौकरियां दे के थोड़े सामने खड़ा जी 50,000 नौकरियां हो गई।
भगवंत मान जी की जो नई सरकार है ये नई जॉब्स देने में बहुत अव्वल है।
Within 1 year अब भर्ती भी निकल जाती है और ज्वाइनिंग भी हो जाती है।
ਹੁਣ ਜੇ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਮੈਂ ਇੱਥੋਂ ਬਿਨਾਂ ਸਿਫਾਰਿਸ਼ ਤੋਂ ਤੇ ਬਿਨਾਂ ਪੈਸੇ ਤੋਂ ਭੇਜ ਰਿਹਾ ਤਾਂ ਜਿੱਥੇ ਜਾਓਗੇ ਉੱਥੇ ਕਿਰਪਾ ਕਰਕੇ ਫਿਰ ਕਿਸੇ ਦੀ ਸਿਫਾਰਿਸ਼ ਜਾਂ ਕੋਈ ਪੈਸਾ ਨਾ ਚੱਲੇ।
ਮੈਂ ਸੀਐਮ ਭਗਵੰਤ ਮਾਨ ਦਾ ਬਹੁਤ ਧੰਨਵਾਦ ਕਰਨਾ ਚਾਹੁੰਦਾ ਕਿ ਜੋ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਨੌਕਰੀ ਦਿੱਤੀ। ਮੈਂ ਵਾਅਦਾ ਕਰਦਾ ਕਿ ਮੈਂ ਆਪਣੀ ਨੌਕਰੀ ਜਿਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਮੇਰੀ ਜੁਆਇਨਿੰਗ ਹੋਈ ਹੈ ਬਿਨਾਂ ਕਿਸੇ ਰਿਸ਼ਵਤਖੋਰੀ ਤੋਂ ਕਿਤੇ ਵੀ ਪੈਸਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਦਿੱਤਾ ਤੇ ਮੈਂ ਉਸੇ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਆਪਣੀ ਸੇਵਾ ਨਿਭਾਵਾਂਗਾ ਇਮਾਨਦਾਰੀ ਨਾਲ।
So far, more than 50,000 government jobs have been provided to the youth.
ਪੰਜਾਬ ਸਰਕਾਰ ਦਾ ਬਹੁਤ ਧੰਨਵਾਦ ਕਰਦਾ ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਨੇ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਓਪਰਚੁਨਿਟੀ ਲਿਆ ਕੇ ਦਿੱਤੀ। ਮਕੈਨੀਕਲ ਇੰਜੀਨੀਅਰਸ ਨੂੰ ਵੀ ਰਿਕਰੂਟ ਕੀਤਾ।
ਮੈਨੂੰ ਇਹ ਨੌਕਰੀ ਪੂਰੀ ਮੈਰਿਟ ਦੇ ਆਧਾਰ ਤੇ ਮਿਲੀ ਹੈ, ਕੋਈ ਸਿਫਾਰਿਸ਼ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੋਈ, ਕੰਮ ਪੂਰੇ ਪਾਰਦਰਸ਼ੀ ਢੰਗ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਹੋਇਆ।
ਇਸ ਨੌਕਰੀ ਦੇ ਥਰੂ ਅਸੀਂ ਲੋਕਾਂ ਦੀ ਸੇਵਾ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਤੇ ਆਪਣੀ ਸਰਕਾਰ ਜੋ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਸਾਡੇ ਲਈ ਮਿਹਨਤ ਕੀਤੀ ਹੈ ਉਹਦਾ ਅਸੀਂ ਪੂਰਾ ਮੁੱਲ ਚੁਕਾ ਸਕਦੇ ਹਾਂ।
The government has made every possible effort to secure a brighter future for the youth of Punjab. A Punjab where every youth gets opportunities. A Punjab where every talent is recognized. This is New Punjab. This is Rangla Punjab.
Helps beat sensitivity fast. Sensodyne Rapid Relief.
Telangana is the place for investments. We have